So now we are going to see earliest deadline first. Here the execution time is given and here the period is given. Since priority is not given, I'm going to take this period as a priority. Okay, now we can calculate the hyper period. The hyper period is the LCM of 3, 4 and 6, that is 12. So for 12 milliseconds timeline, I'm drawing this. After this, the cycle will get repeated, so need not draw it again. Need not draw the remainder. So we are drawing for 12 milliseconds. And now you can start drawing. So here the priority keeps on changing for each time period. So it will be keeping on changing. So we are going to, so this is for understanding purpose, I have written the timeline and how the priority is changing. Now we'll start from, we will see the priority first. First we'll draw the timeline. That is P1 will execute for every 3 milliseconds. So first 3 milliseconds, the first cycle. Then second for 6, so 3, and the third 9 and the fourth will be in the 12th. Similarly for P2, first cycle will get 4, second at 8 and third at 12. Next here first will be at 6, second will be at 12. Now we can identify the priority. So we'll start for finding the priority. Here it is earliest deadline first. So from this one, first millisecond, we are going to note for P1 what is the earliest deadline. Here we can see the deadline is at 3 milliseconds. So this is 3, and for P2 it is 4, and P3 it is 6, similar to what is given here. That's what the period is correct for the first cycle is the period. So when you see here, which is having the highest priority? Obviously P1, the lowest period is the highest priority. And next priority is P2 and the next one is P3. So we'll start by executing P1. So the first initial, that's millisecond, P1 will be executing for 1 millisecond. Next, for the next cycle, again we are going to update the priority. For P1 it remains 3, again 4, again 6 only. So 3 is already completed for this first interval. So need not go to P1 again. We'll start with P2 and P6. So again here the highest priority is P2. So next, again we are just going to see the priority. From here the priority remains the same only. For the second to third cycle, from here, so it is 3, and from here it is 4, and from here it is 6 only. Now you can see here, so already 3, 4 is completed for the particular first interval. So we'll go on to P3. It's not completed yet. Now when we go to the next timeline, 3 to 4, here you can see, again we are going to know the priority. From here the priority goes to 6 for P1. And from our P2 it remains as 4 only, the earliest deadline. And for P3 it remains as 6 only. So P2 is already executed for the cycle, so we don't consider P2. Now we are going to see here, both P1 and P3 are equal priority. So we can take in any order. But what we are going to do here is already P3 has executed one cycle, so 1 millisecond. So again we are going to continue with P2 and complete the entire execution. So P3 is executed. Next we will go on to the next priority checking. So next 4 to 5. When you go to 4 to 5, here P3's priority is 6. And next, P1's priority is 6. Next P2's priority is 8 now. So from here it is 8. This is over. From here it is 8. And from here it is again 6 only. And P3 is completed. So just cancel P3. Now we are going to find the next highest priority, which is the lowest period. So here 6. 6 is having the next highest priority. So what we are going to do 6, that is of process P1. We are going to execute P1 for the 4 to 5 cycle, 4th to 5th period. Next we are going to again update the deadline. So here P3's deadline, P1's deadline remains 6. P2's deadline will be same 8 only. P3's deadline is also 6 only. So already we know these two are executed. So we go to the leftover, that is P2. Will get executed. Okay, next we are going to again update the priority based on the deadline. For P1 it will become 9. For P2 it will already 8 only. Next for P3 it is 12. Now already we know that for this particular interval P2 is complete, so need not execute it again, so we just cancel it out. And then next is 9 or 12. So obviously 9 is the highest priority, so that is of P1. So we are going to execute that. Okay, next after this, so again we are going to update this priority from 7 to 8 cycle. Again we note 9 is already there, it's already completed, so no need to note that. 8 is already completed for the 9th cycle, and 8 for the 8th period is completed. Next we are going to leftover is 12. So what we are going to do is we are executing the first cycle, and then we'll wait here, and again we'll note here. From again we'll update the priority. This remains 9, it's already executed. This will become 12, and this is also already 12. So now from here when we check, already we have started this P3, so we'll complete it and then we'll go to the next one. So the next millisecond is also complete because P3 is executing 2 milliseconds. Okay, next we are going to the next cycle, that is the next timeline, that is 9 to 10. Now when you see here, again we are just going to update the priority. So now when you see here, in this gap, The next deadline is 12. This is also 12 and this is also 12. And P3 is already over. So need not again go with that one. We cancel out P3. Now from the P1 and P2, we can execute anything first. So either go with P1, then again for this also it remains 12, 12, and then we can go for P2 or P1 and P2, whatever. This period will be the idle. Okay, I have just taken this for a easy purpose so that you can easily understand. Now we can note the time period. So if you want, we can note the time and the running task similar to that what we did for for RMS, and the reason. So from 0 to 1, we can see that process P1 is executing. The reason because the deadline is 3. From 1 to 2, P2 because the next deadline is 4. Okay, so the reason you can write based upon how your understanding is. So 2 to 4, P3 will be executed. 2 to 4. Then 4 to 5, P1 because the new instance starts and deadline is 6. 5 to 6, P2, new instance, deadline is 8. 6 to 7, P1, new instance, deadline is 9. 7 to 9, P3 for 2 milliseconds it will execute, a new instance and deadline is 12. 9 to 10, so you are going with P1, the deadline is 12. 10 to 11, P2, deadline is 12. 11 to 12, we have no process to execute, so it is idle because there is no task remaining. Thank you.